WWE Crown Jewel has already passed, and we didn't get a chance to talk about it. So, what we're going to do today is break it down match by match. Hang through the intro, and let's get the party started. Welcome back to your favorite podcast, Collie Greens TV. I am your host, King, and this is the co host of the Lifetime, JC3. And today we are going to be talking about WWE Crown Jewel. That bad boy already passed us by, so we wanted to take some time and talk about it ourselves before we move to the next one. Quick housekeeping, of course. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Tell your friends about it if you're loving the content, or if you just love these subjects and want to talk to us. We'd love for you to come in the comments and tell us about what you think. But after that, let's get things started. Let's hit off with the first match of the night, which was a big one, I think, for both of us, given the people who were in it. And that's the Australian street fight with Bronson Reed versus the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Jay, kick us off.
Oh man, this match was great. OTC against Big Bronson Reed. This was a big spot for Bronson, given all the injuries he's had in the past. To have a match of this caliber, the opening match against Roman Reigns in his hometown, man, that's a big spot. That's really good for him. The match was fantastic. The crowd was fantastic. For some reason, that crowd does not like Prime bottles. I don't know why, but when Reigns threw a Prime bottle at Bronson, he got a big pop for that, other than the crowd chanting his name before he even got to the ring. But yeah, great spots in the match. Of course, we had interference. Bronson comes out to try to help. Our boy, Big Breaker. Yeah, he comes in to try to help Bronson. And then, of course, Jay tries to help Reigns. But unfortunately, Jay kind of screws up and ends up spearing Reigns right through a table, allowing Bronson to get the tsunami on Reigns for the 1-2-3, which is a very big deal and a very big win for Bronson, considering the fact that Roman hasn't been pinned in singles competition since he lost to Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 40. So really happy that Bronson got that win. Really good spot for him. And leaves Reigns and the Usos in a pretty interesting spot. What do you think?
I have a lot of the same opinions. This match was kind of a big one for Bronson Reed. One being, of course, in Australia. He is New Zealand, but Australia is where he calls home. So it's always good. You don't always see a person win the match when they're in their home country, but Bronson got this one over on the tribal chief. And this one has been boiling for a while, right? The tribal thief versus the tribal chief. They've really been kind of waiting to push Bronson Reed over the top. And I actually think Roman Reigns was actually the perfect person to do it. Like you had mentioned, Roman hasn't been pinned by much of anybody at all in the history. And to give Bronson Reed that spot was amazing. Great bout. I think the biggest thing that really came out of it was you saw that Roman was really mad at Jimmy and Jay, the help out. And I told you to stay back there. Don't get involved. So something later is going to happen with the bloodline, as if the bloodline's not already in enough tumultuous chaos. But more will come with that. And I really enjoyed that match. It was a fun match and it was a good opener. All right, let's move on to the next match. And the next match is the Women's Crown Jewel Championship with Stephanie Valkyrie and, of course, Tiffany Stratton, the two biggest players in the game right now. What did you think of this big head-to-head, champion versus champion?
The first championship match for the Women's Crown Jewel Championship, La Primera against Miss Tiffy Time. This match had high expectations, and I think that both women exceeded them. They both pulled out moves that we really don't see them do often. I think I recall Stephanie doing some kind of standing submission, Stratton doing like a springboard backbreaker type of move. It looked kind of off, but still stuff we haven't seen from them before. I would still say that Stephanie was the aggressor and the better aggressor in the match. But overall, both women, did what they had to do, gave us a great show. Of course, we get that da, 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 devil's kiss from La Primera, what everybody wants to see. and tremendous talent displayed by Tiffany Stratton. Ultimately, Bakir won by a corkscrew moonsault, I believe, for the 1, 2, 3. And we have our WWE Women's Crown Jewel champion. Very proud of Stephanie. She has had a very good year. And this just solidifies that she is arguably the best women's wrestler in the division right now. But I loved it. What you think?
Again, man, I'm just gonna wholeheartedly agree with you. This match was probably one of the more fun ones, just because you have two of the biggest upcoming talents that have reached the top of the pinnacle, but both of them did that within their first year on the main roster, and they're both incredible in-ring talents. Very little botches, always on the move. Tiffany is such a hard hitting wrestler when it comes to her move set and how she does it. It genuinely looks painful. And Stephanie's just clean with it. She's just really smooth. You know what I mean? So outside of, seeing Stephanie fight like an EO Sky, this was another just great technician, great in-ring talent. And I'm glad with La Primera took the win. I think she deserves it. I think she is right now the top of the top, the pinnacle. I think she's doing great, and I'm happy to see she got the win that she deserves. And I'm crazily excited to see what they're going to do next with that character. But let's move on to what I think was the best match of the night. And I know you're probably going to agree with me. It is in the middle of the PLE, but I think hands down, this was the best. And that is John Cena going against AJ Styles. And of course, the farewell fight for the both of them. Kick us off, man. What were your thoughts?
All right. So I previously told King before we recorded that I had took notes just to make sure that, I just stuck to certain points, because if I went on the way I usually would in this situation, I keep you guys on too long. But what I'll say is this match, like you said before, with Tippy and Bakir, this match to me was also fun. This match had a lot of callbacks that allowed both men to shine. It was important for so many reasons. Again, with this being Cena's last year in wrestling, AJ announcing that next year he will be retiring as well, it made this match even more special. Again, lots of finishers moved in this match that were both men paying tribute to their rivals from the past. I will call out the tribute to Bray Wyatt. When Cena hit the Sister Abigail on AJ Styles, that to me was the best part of the match. You had the crowd with their cell phones in the air with their flashlights on, paying tribute to Bray as his Fireflies. That alone is why it's great to be a wrestling fan. And you can tell by the look on Cena's face that he was really stuck in that moment. We also got a choke slam and tombstone pile driver from Cena, and then a double A pinning the phenomenal AJ Styles. Not taking anything away from AJ. He did a lot in this match as well. I just want to go over it because I want my boy to speak, but I love this match. It was perfect, and it was the best match on the card to me. What you think?
Well, since we're going to talk about some of the stuff AJ did, everybody like me who was watching that match was screaming when AJ Styles stomped his feet 3 times and went for the sweet chin music. I mean, this match was full of two more veteran wrestlers paying homage to the wrestlers of the past and doing moves and move sets that they don't typically do. One thing that kind of was like, whoa, that made me kind of sit on the edge of my seat and actually legitimately was when John Cena set up a 619. Out of all the moves they had been doing all night, I couldn't believe that John Cena set up a 619. The match was incredible. It was easily the funnest match. It was easily the most exciting match. And that's just because you got to see two dudes who are like, hey, we're on our way out. We're going to now just have fun with it. And they're, like you said, the Sister Abigail dude, I literally screamed out loud. You know what I mean? I was like, yo, he just hit a Sister Abigail. a tombstone pile driver. I mean, the list and list goes on between the amount of moves that both of them did, just paying homage to wrestlers in the past. I absolutely loved it, man. What a great match. It really set the tone, and it made it kind of difficult because I don't know if anything else on the card really was going to live up to that moment. Next match, let's talk about the next one. The women's tag team championship match, with or at least tag team match. Was it a championship match? Yes, it
It was
was.
tag team. It was just a tag team match.
Okay, just a tag team match, not the championship. I don't know why I'm gonna say that. Anyway, you had Rhea Ripley teaming up with Io Sky against Asuka and Kairi Sane, the Kabuki Warriors. Kick us off, my brother.
Oh man. Well, the Kabukis against Rhea Ripley, Mommy, and Io Sky, the genius of the sky. In my opinion, this match was exactly what it needed to be. Both women brought a lot of energy and physicality to the match, which made it entertaining from start to finish. Ripley, in her hometown, gonna get a big pop from the crowd. Everybody loves Io Sky. Lots of spots in this match that were great. Io also showed us once again why she is one of the masters of the moonsault. Just the way that she's able to execute that, I would say even rivals Tiffany Stratton's moonsault. Like, it's really that good. She's just a really popular, wrestler and character overall right now, and I'm very happy for her. But man, Rhea was on her A game, and she was aggressive. She was brutal as only she can be. Both women brought a lot to the match, including Asuka and Kairi, who also shouldn't be overestimated. They did a lot in the match as well. Also had some cool masks coming out to the ring, I think. But ultimately, I believe Sane sacrificed herself for Asuka, which sucks for her because then she took the brunt of all the finishers from Io and Rhea Ripley, including Riptide for the 1, 2, 3. Again, match is exactly what it needed to be. And I'm glad that the women that won. And that now we can move on to maybe bigger and better things, because still, I'm wondering when this whole Rhea and Io thing, if that might split, because Ripley still hasn't beaten Io, and that's going to creep up at some point. But match was great, and I enjoyed it. What you think?
So I'm gonna start off with the Kabuki Warriors just because I've kind of less things to say about them in this match. I love the Kabuki Warriors. I think Asuka's a great talent. I love Kairi Sane a lot, and I love the storyline that they put them in, where it is the master versus the student, and how Kairi Sane is deathly afraid to go up against Asuka because of their positioning in their relationship, right? Asuka is the master, you are the student. You need to listen at all times. So I love this storyline, and eventually it's gonna come to its head because we know Kairi Sane loves Io Sky, and she hates having to do this, but what the master says goes. But most of the craziness that happened in this match was really on the other side. There's a thing when you get Io Sky and you get Rhea Ripley together. Rhea Ripley is strong and she's fast, but Io Sky is fast and she can fly. So they're kind of this like salty and sweet of the perfect tag team, where one is really the bronze and one is really a high flyer. And you really get to see that dynamic with the strength and then the skill. So it was fun to watch. It's always fun to see them tag up. And I really hope that they'll hold on to this for a little while longer. I'd love them to go on a tag team championship run, against maybe like Charlotte, you know what I mean? And them. That would be a really cool storyline. Let's move on up to the men's Crown Jewel Championship. The reason why everybody tuned in, will Seth Rollins finally defeat Cody Rhodes for the belt?
Man, I will say both men in this match were excellent. Any encounter that these guys have together, was going to be magic. The first three encounters that they had were classic matches, and this one was no different. It just told a different story, and the fact that Rollins was desperate in every way to beat Cody because he hasn't been able to. That included some interesting spots in this match as well. Again, Seth knocking down the prime bottles and then getting a big pop for that. Australia does not like Logan Paul, but that was a fun spot. Also, the counter that Rollins did when I believe Cody tried to do a springboard, but he turned it into a power bomb. That was pretty cool. And of course, I got to bring up the main spot that everybody was talking about, the coast to coast that Rollins gave to Rhodes. That was very brutal. And we know now how much Rollins has paid for that, but that was a great spot in the match as well. There was some shenanigans at play with the watch that Rhodes had given Rollins. At first, he was considering using it, but then he decided not to. But as the match progressed, he decided that it was time to pull the trigger. So, wham bam, he clocks Cody in the face with the watch, then delivers a super curb stomp from the top rope for the 1-2-3. And Seth Rollins has finally defeated Cody Rhodes. This match, I think, was amazing from a technical standpoint. And story-wise, I think that this just solidifies that Rollins really has everything at this point. Even after he won, he declared himself to be the greatest of all time, which I think was kind of setting up for maybe him possibly being Cena's last opponent, considering Cena kind of considers himself the greatest of all time. Unfortunately, that can't happen due to injuries, real ones this time because of karma. I enjoyed the match. It was very important for the story moving forward, and I can't wait to see what we get next. What you think, King?
Good match. Good match. Loved every bit of it. I love both of those wrestlers. I still am a big Seth Rollins fan. Not super fan of him in the heel role more than I am. I like him more as a babyface, but it's a fun little ride. That coast to coast headbutt was crazy, dude. Was crazy. Love that spot. I called Cody Rhodes losing, and I knew they were going to give it to Seth. I just knew it because the storyline going up was he can't beat him, he can't beat him, he can't beat him. Of course, they're going to give it to him, and then he gets hurt. So I don't know what they're going to do storyline going forward. But as far as that match and that night, I mean, they really gave a good match. One thing that I will say about them, they kind of did what Cena did in the match earlier. They did a lot of calls to other wrestlers' moves, and they were genuinely having some fun with it. And it seemed like the whole thing was a little more fun in Australia than it was in Saudi last year. There just seemed to be a little more lax with it, and the Rollins Rhodes fight lasted a little longer than I thought it would be. But the conclusion was the same. Of course, Seth Rollins is gonna, bring in some shenanigans. He's gonna cheat. He's never beat the man straight up. But this is the first time in a long time that I noticed on the shows that follow, Cody and some of the other people are calling for an asterisk that Seth won, but he cheated. And usually people don't call for an asterisk on their title defense, even if they did cheat. So I always thought that that was interesting that now they're kind of bringing it up like they're going to bring it back that Seth really didn't beat Cody straight up. We'll see what happens here in the future, and we'll see what happens at the next PLE. That's been the bulk of the PLE. I'm going to give my final thoughts, and then Jay's going to give his final thoughts and take us on out. So overall, I think it was a fun PLE. It was funner than, of course, some of the Saturday night main events. I know they're trying to bring that and make it a little bit bigger and better, but I love a good champion versus champion, seeing the two top people on each side holding each belt and what are they going to do. Great time. So I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10. I had a good time. There was some good moments. Not a crazy PLE, but I thought it was fun. What about you?
Man, in regards to this PLE, I would say just because we had 5 matches and we could kind of predict what was going to happen, it didn't change the fact that this PLE, in my opinion, was great on many levels. Again, Bronson Reed getting a humongous win against Roman Reigns. I can't wait to see what spot that puts him in the future. La Primera becoming the WWE Women's Crown Jewel champion is very, very important as well. Very big. And again, can't wait to see what she does. Uh, Classic, instant classic, masterpiece of a match with Cena and AJ Styles. That is a match that fans and even wrestlers, I think, will look back on for years to come. That was just completely amazing. Rio Ia get the win, of course, in a classic, I think, with the Kabuki Warriors. And Rollins finally gets that W against Cody in a fantastic match, in my opinion. Even though, Rollins has had his quirks, with me. I have to say he is a fantastic talent and a fantastic wrestler. So hopefully he gets better soon. And now we just have to wait and see what happens on the next PLE or the next Saturday night's main event, which should be coming up soon, as you said. And till we get there, I think that we should all like, share, subscribe. Thank you guys all for the love. And believe in superstition a little bit. Maybe don't fake things, because then actually things might actually happen to you. Learn from Seth Rollins and stay nerdy, my friends.